January 10th, 2019. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 171 of You Can Bet On That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet On That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall, and sitting across from me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
Dr. Mike, how are you feeling?
Well, I'm getting better.
You're getting better. So
I still got a bad cough.
Yeah, we were last Wednesday, we were ready to record. And in fact, it was like an hour before you were going to come over.
Right.
You called me and said, "Oh, I just can't make it." You had a fever, didn't you?
I had like 101 fever.
Yeah.
And it lasted for a couple days.
Well, that's the
so
thing.
I probably had the flu.
It probably was that,
And
yeah.
then that went away, but now I've got this nasty cough.
That's going to linger, of course, like
Yeah.
all coughs do.
Right.
Well, at first I was thinking, well, we'll just do it the next day. We've been a day late before. So Thursday, like late morning, you said, yeah, let's do it tonight. And then as the day went on, you just said, no.
I was just,
So at that point I said, well, there wasn't really a good time to get together after that. So it's like, well, let's just postpone it a week. And then Friday, the next day, I'm sitting at work. I'm just at my desk doing work, thinking about my good buddy, Dr. Mike. Boy, I hope he's feeling a lot better. And I get this text from you that says, just hit 6 points on the fire.
Yeah. I went up there to get my free play, ended up playing a little bit.
Come on. You were still sick.
I was so sick.
And you hit another 6-point fire bet?
Yeah.
Like twice in 2 months now?
Twice in 2 months.
Unbelievable. So that's 4 altogether that
Right.
you've hit in your lifetime.
Right. You know what's funny is too, that was Friday, and then Saturday, several of the dealers were complaining about how sick they were.
That's what happened.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, we went up that Saturday and then had a huge 2019 is off to a great start.
Yes,
Oh my gosh.
That Saturday we killed them.
And then was there a 5? Yeah, we hit a 5
We
that
had a
night.
5 and a 4. I rolled a 4.
Oh my gosh, we couldn't, and just all night long. It was it was one of the best nights ever.
Yeah.
One kind of scary thing though, we're standing there playing at the table, and all of a sudden we hear this big crash behind us, and we look, and this big chunk of metal lattice that's kind of up by the light fixtures there.
It's like a decoration for the light fixtures.
Well, I don't know if it's a decoration so much as like it reflects the light in a certain way. Because you
maybe.
can't,
Yeah,
when you look up there, you don't really see it.
That could be.
Yeah.
It could be reflecting the light down.
But it had come loose somehow and came crashing down. And thank goodness nobody was there because this thing was heavy.
It was right next to a trash can too, so there could have easily been something. And that's a place people hang out and smoke too.
Right, because one of the tables is non-smoking, so they'll
Right.
step aside and kind of go over because it's a trash can and an ashtray, and they'll stand over there.
It was about 8 feet from us, I'd say.
Boy, if somebody had been hit by that, Mike, we were talking about it, it would have easily knocked them out.
Yes.
Would have probably cut them pretty badly too, because it's
Yeah.
that lattice. It's
Right.
kind of sharp, and could have killed them.
Could have killed
for
them.
for as high as that ceiling was.
Yeah.
How high do you think that ceiling is?
Oh, it's high. It's
like 20 feet high. Is that
high.
something?
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
It's one of those real high ceiling. It's not a standard, 8-10 feet ceiling.
So since nobody's even close to it, thank goodness. So we were able to laugh about it all night. You know,
Yeah.
we kept looking up in the
Well, I kept
ceiling
thinking,
and-
well, if it didn't kill you, you're rich for the rest of your life.
That's right.
And you probably get free well drinks and buffets forever.
forever. Probably one for you and your companion.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about it all night, of course, and laugh, but we were also surprised that there wasn't a lot of reaction from the staff.
It was like they came over and looked at it, and they were all standing there looking up at the ceiling. Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. But, no engineer came out. Nobody, is the ceiling going to fall?
No, they cleaned it up.
It was raining outside.
That's true, but I can't imagine that would have affected.
No, it didn't. It's San Diego rain. I mean, you get more water when you urinate than we get when it rains.
They cleaned it up, but nobody came to check, hey, is another one going to fall or anything
No,
like
it was
this?
so weird. It's the whole night. Nobody. And, I looked at it afterwards, and it was a chunk.
It was a big piece. Yeah. It wasn't just a
But
little.
I'm just wondering about the other parts around it.
Yes, exactly.
Wouldn't you be worried?
Well, we're laughing about it now. Nobody got hurt. But yeah, it would have been nice to have been standing under it just for the...
as long as you didn't get hurt, too bad. I mean, a little pain and suffering would be worth it.
Might have been
I
worth
guess.
it, yeah. Anyway, 2019 off to a good start, and we actually have started to make plans for some of the trips for this year. First off, we do plan on attending Gamblepalooza in April. Now, Eric, on the most recent episode of The Better Life, pretty much confirmed that it's going to be in Atlantic City on the weekend of that Friday is April 12th. but they're not going to really plan any events till Saturday, and it's going to go through that Monday. So the event will actually be April 13th through the 15th. That's a Saturday through Monday. And you and I were talking about, we'll probably fly over there on Friday because that's pretty much a whole day for us.
Right.
Right.
It is a whole day.
The length of the plane ride plus the time change and everything. So
right. And then the gambling and everything.
That's why staying
By the
up
time
late.
we get to bed, we're tired.
Yeah. So that'll be Friday. So that's our first trip. The second trip that we plan on doing is to 360 Vegas Vacation 8. That's over Memorial Day weekend. That's going to be Sunday, May 26th through Tuesday, May 28th. So we do plan on going to that. And then the third one just recently was announced that the Summit is coming back to Las Vegas. Hunter Hilligus sent out the announcement. So they don't have dates for that yet, but it's probably going to be sometime in October.
Has been in the past.
So those are the three trips, big trips that we are planning right now for 2019. So hopefully listeners out there will be able to meet up with us at one of those. And, we're looking forward to it as usual. And if the beginning of this year is any indication, Mike, you went out there to Harrah's, Southern California on January 1st.
Yes.
When you came home, you were already a diamond.
Yeah. I don't know what that says.
One day, right? And on Twitter, they were saying, so it must have been like a carryover. You know how you earn points from the previous year? No, it was all the points you earned that day.
Yeah. It was just that day.
You're almost to 7 stars. I think you're 2/3 of the way there.
Yeah. I should be 7 stars after this week.
You're a beast. That's what they said on Twitter. You're a beast.
Well, we've had a good year. This is our best start ever.
Definitely a best start, yes.
Yeah.
A lot of times in the past, December's really good, and then we go into January, and it's like,
Yeah. It's going to be hard for me to be down by, February 1st.
That's quite a bold statement,
it's
Dr.
gonna
Mike,
be
coming
hard.
from you. Well, tell everybody about this football pool because you were in this college football pool for the whole season.
Right.
And it ended with sort of a pick the bowl games.
Right. At the end, there's a pick the bowl games. You've got to pick 9 bowl games.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 of them are your best bet, which you get 2 points for. 6 of them are your other picks, which you get a point for.
Mm-hmm. And so
it's against the point spread.
Okay. And whoever accumulates the most points at the end of the bowl season then will win this pool, right?
Wins this extra pool.
Mm-hmm.
So separate from the year-long thing, this is another thing you throw, everyone puts money
right.
into.
And you can earn bonus points, right?
Right. The bonus points are the real clincher here because if you pick an underdog that's between 7 and 10 points.
Underdog, uh-huh.
Yeah. And they actually win the game outright.
Yeah.
You get an extra point.
Okay.
And if they're an underdog of 10.5 or more, and they actually win the game, you get 2 bonus points. Kind of the same thing for favorites. If you pick a favorite and if it's 7 or more, okay, if it's under 7, it doesn't matter. But if it's 7 or more and they win by double that.
Okay.
So let's say a
Yeah.
team was favored by 7 and they won by 14.
Yeah.
Then you get an extra point.
Okay, I see. Yeah. So we were talking about this beforehand, and your plan was to kind of go out there and try to get these extra points.
Right. Yeah. I was thinking, the only way you're going to really win this, outright win it, is to get a bunch of extra points.
And hope that you hit them. Obviously, if you don't hit them, you're
sure.
not.
If you don't hit them, you're probably going to be in last.
But if the only thing you did was to play it safe, you probably wouldn't have enough points to win the whole thing.
And maybe not enough points to win outright. You might tie somebody.
there
and then
you
there
go.
was this complicated tiebreaker system
Okay.
that he had designed. So you could theoretically tie with like 3 other people and not be in the money.
Yeah,
Because you
right,
lose in
'cause
a tiebreaker.
And so it's kind of like, not exactly the same, but it's kind of like how they say if you're going to bet the lottery, pick random numbers
Right.
instead of picking people's birthdays, because everybody takes people's birthdays.
Right.
And it's not going to help your chances of winning anymore. But if you do win, you're less likely to split the pot with
with somebody.
somebody else. That's
Right.
kind of the
well, the
same
problem
thing.
with birthdays is, there's only 31 days in the longest month, right?
Yeah, right.
So, nobody picks 32 as a number or 46 or
maybe if that's their
54
year
or-
of birth, maybe. But not as much
the day,
as 1 through
right.
31. So you were telling me you were surprised. You seemed like you were the only one who
Well,
did this.
there were 15 people.
Okay.
Excuse me, 19 people. There were 15 in the season long, and then there were 4 guys who just played the bowl pool at the end. So there were 19 people, and one other person took a few,
Okay.
but nobody took nearly as many as me. And most people had maybe 1 or 2 upsets out of their 9.
Yeah.
I had 8 of my 9 were 7 or more points.
And it paid off for you, didn't
And
it?
the only one that was under 7 points was San Diego State.
You lost. That was
which
one
I
of your
lost.
losing ones.
Yeah, and I shouldn't have taken them, but I did because they're my home team.
That was an
and
embarrassment,
They're
yeah.
my favorite college team because they're here and I follow them. So I took them. They were underdogs by like 4, and they got wiped out.
Well, they got shut out. Yeah.
And the other ones, of the 8 I took, I think I won 6 of them.
Yeah, and did you win the pool like going away? Was anybody? Nobody was even close to you.
No, it wasn't
Great.
even close. I think I ended up with 14 or 15 points, and I think the closest was like 11. So.
And we're certainly not experts on football pools, but if you do listen to the experts, a lot of times they say, "Hey, you don't want to pick the favorites all the time.
Right.
You got to go for some upsets that you really think are possible."
Right.
Just to
Well, and my thinking was, okay, this team could possibly win this game, but even if they don't win, they might keep it close enough they cover the spread, and I get 1 point anyway.
So you win it anyway, and
Right.
if for some reason they do win,
Right.
then you get the extra one. Yeah.
You pick the favorite, it's kind of hard to win by double.
Yeah, especially if it's
So,
a big spread.
yeah,
right. The
right.
14 points. Are they
Yeah.
going to win by 28? Yeah.
No,
so.
probably not. And then you just get 1 point when they win, and if they don't win, you get nothing. So I just take my chances, and
good.
worked out well.
Nice. Well, congratulations on
you.
that. Something that we got a lot of messages from listeners about was something that happened in Borgata recently. Now, most casinos offer a side bet on their 3-card poker tables that will pay if your 3 cards and the dealer's 3 cards combine into some sort of 5-card poker hand. Usually this bet will pay if you make 3 of a kind or better. So you look at all 6 cards, your 3, the dealer's 3, and you make the best 5-card poker hand out of it. And you see.
Royal Flush being the top.
Right. Now, some casinos have a special jackpot on this side bet where if the 6 cards make what they call a super Royal Flush, that is 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace, all of the same suit, you win $100,000. And some of those casinos will pay $1 million if the Super Royal Flush is in diamonds.
Right.
And this happened recently at the Borgata. It's funny because the headline said, poker player turns $5 into $1 million. And, when we read that, it's like, oh, a poker player? How did that happen? It's like, well, he's not a poker player. He's playing 3-card poker, which technically is poker. But when we see a headline like that, we're thinking, poker player. But
Yeah, and I'm sure most of the public thinks thinks some guy sitting at a table and he threw $5 into some pot, and then somehow there was $1 million.
Well, you won. Your ace is held up. Congratulations. But this happened at Borgata recently. Caesars properties were some of the first to offer this jackpot, and it actually happens more frequently than you think. I know this made the headlines, but it actually hits about once or twice a year,
right?
At least at Caesars properties. And didn't your dad come close to hitting this one?
My dad was so close. It was diamonds, and he had Ace, King, Queen, Jack, and then like 9-8 or something.
Yeah, it was like 5 away from it.
He was missing the 10. He had a flush,
right? A
6-card flush.
Yeah,
he was just missing like the 10 or something, right? And my wife was standing right behind him, and when they saw the diamonds, then the Ace, King, Queen, you see the Ace and the King in the air. Yeah. They're so excited, and I think he did get something because he had a flush.
Sure, because he's got a flush. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to the Borgata player, and keep your eyes out. It's going to happen again before too long.
We need to hit that. We need to play.
Oh yeah, really? We do that? That's forget about Royal Flushes on the video poker.
Well, that's never happening.
That's right. It's never going to happen. So why even go for that? One of the best ways to get a hold of us is through email. Sometimes we're not terribly quick about responding, but eventually we get around to it. Another way you can get a hold of us is through the contact link at our webpage, youcanbetonthat.com. The only problem with doing it that way is that you need to type in your email address. And if you type it in wrong, we won't be able to respond. You can type the message in there, but if you typed your email address in wrong, that we don't know. And this happened recently with a message from a listener named Michael. We tried to respond, but the email kicked back because there must have been a typo in his email address.
Probably.
So, Michael, if you're listening, that's why you haven't gotten a response from us. And now his question was about free play and video poker. He asked why we use our slot play on video poker as opposed to slot machines. And he asked for some advice for new video poker players. Now, here was our response. I'm just going to read it, and I think maybe some listeners will find it helpful too, who are maybe thinking about getting into video poker. We wrote, Michael, the only reason we use our free play on video poker instead of slots is, as you mentioned, because it typically has a lower house edge. A video poker pay table will determine how low that house edge is. If you're new to video poker, you're going to want to try to find a 9-6 jacks or better machine. Jacks or better is the most basic of video poker machines, and the 9-6 means that a full house pays 9 for 1 and a flush pays 6 for 1. The payback on this machine is around 99.5% if you learn the basic strategy for the game, which is easy to find online. You might not always be able to find a 9-6 jacks or better machine, but there are still good video poker machines out there. And we recommended that he go to the Wizard of Odds video poker page and also to check out vpfree2.com, because that's a great resource for finding good pay tables,
Right.
At casinos that you're going to be frequenting. So
I think another thing that a lot of people probably are wondering is why we choose video poker instead of just getting chips that we can take to the craps table.
why
and
we play machines
Yeah.
instead of using them at
Right.
the table, yeah.
Because a lot of people, like out at here as Southern California, they get money and they use it on the craps table.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, because the way it works there is when you win a bet, they take your bet and replace it.
Yeah, they take away that free play chip.
Right.
They give you a real chip in exchange, but that free play chip does not stay out there. It comes
Right.
back.
So it only can win once.
So it's really only worth about 50% of its put in value.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Whereas when we put it in the video poker machines, it stays in the machine.
Right. It's worth 100% of its value.
It's, right. It's worth its full value.
Yeah.
So that's why we do that.
Yeah.
Although I was recently talking to somebody who told me that they use their free play that he would get at his local casino.
Mm-hmm.
In their case, they could only use it on table games.
Okay. That's
There was
the only
no
choice.
option for slots.
Yeah.
He would just each week get his and play it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, a buddy of his came up with this idea. Well, I'm just going to save mine. So every week he would get his $30 or $40 free play, and he saved it until he got a large amount. And then he just went and covered every number on the roulette table.
Oh, so he's guaranteed to get something back.
So he's guaranteed to get something back instead of
And the casino let him do that?
the casino let him do that.
Sometimes in cases like that where it's free play, the casino won't let you bet on opposite bets. Like they won't let you bet red and black at roulette, or they won't let you bet pass line and don't pass at the same time.
Right. But
I
they
guess,
let him cover all the numbers.
I guess maybe because they hadn't seen it before. And it's like,
Probably,
okay.
probably they just didn't know what to do, right?
Yeah.
The guy who was telling me this story, he said, well, my friend noticed that most of us would get our $30 and we'd make like one bet on the craps table and then it wouldn't win and we're out our $30.
Yeah.
Every once in a while we'd win, but a lot of times we'd get nothing back. So he just saved his, made all of his bets, and he's guaranteed to get something back.
That's not
real
bad.
money.
That's not
yeah,
bad.
it's not a bad thing. I was thinking about that. I was like, well, you put 36 out there, you get 30 back.
Yeah, well, you get 35. You put 38 out there.
The 38,
and
right.
you get 35 back.
Yeah. So, that's not bad.
That's not bad. Especially if it's the one where they take it away on a win.
Right.
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 Something
right.
like that. Yeah.
So maybe I should just start getting $100 chips.
Yeah.
Wait till
And
I get 38 of them. Right. Which would be about 2 weeks.
And would you be comfortable doing that? You talked to. Yeah. Okay. You answered my question. Thank you.
No, I would not be comfortable doing that.
All right.
I'd be surprised if they'd let me do it.
Well, I think again, they might be so surprised at seeing it happen.
Right.
That it probably depend on the pit that you had.
Right.
Right. To come
yeah.
over. Right.
Yeah. Well, I'd have to wait. We know the pits out there.
That's true.
We wait for one that.
Okay. This one will be fine.
Yeah.
We got a nice email from listener Brandon. He's got a good story about something that happened to him on video poker. He was playing 52-hand video poker online. And the game was Joker Poker, where there's a single joker in the deck that is a wild card. And so he's playing 52 hands at the same time.
Okay.
You've seen machines like that where you play like 100 hands at the same time, or just 10 or whatever. So he's playing Joker Poker, 52 hands at the same time. Well, he's dealt the Jack, Queen, King, and Ace of Diamonds. So he's got 4 to a royal.
Right.
And so now he's got 52 chances to draw to a royal flush. And there are actually 2 cards that will give him the royal flush. The 10 of diamonds, of course.
And the Joker.
But also the Joker. Now, the payouts are different. If he gets the 10 of diamonds, it's a natural royal and it pays 4,000 for 1, which is typical on video poker.
Right.
If he gets the Joker, it's only 400 for 1, but still,
it's a decent
nice payout. So, he sent me a picture too. So he holds the 4 cards to the royal and draws. And not one of the 52 hands makes a royal flush. And, he sent this story, and I'm looking at the screen. It's like, oh, my gosh, what bad luck. That the chances of that must be astronomical.
Right.
And I worked it out, and the chances of that aren't actually that small. It's going to happen about 11% of the time.
Yeah, but 89% of the time you're going to hit it.
I know, that's
the other way to look at that, right?
Yeah,
sure,
that's
11% you won't hit it, but 89% of the time you are going to hit it.
Well, that's about like hitting a hard 8. So, that's
yes. But you have 52 chances.
Anyway, he thought it was funny, and so we're not the only ones, I guess, Mike.
He's probably had a royal before, though.
Probably. Well, playing, again, it was online. It was 52
hands.
So, yeah.
So what would you bet? Like $1?
Oh, you know what? I think it was pennies that he was betting
pennies.
anyway. So, it wasn't that big a deal. It's more of an interesting story than,
right.
pulling your hair out. So
that'd be an interesting game if you were betting dollars. Maybe $52.
Yeah. Online. You have no idea what's going on really behind the curtain.
Right.
Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first, youcanbetonThat.com, and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. All right, let's move on to our voicemail hotline segment. Remember, call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
And maybe we'll play your clip on the show. First up is Nick.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Nick. I'm a young listener. I'm 21 years old and calling about a trip report from the Flamingo, Las Vegas. Went there to see the Brooks and Dunn show December 6th through the 9th and had pretty good luck at the craps table. Playing the 44 inside with a pass line bet with about 2 times odds. Bought in for about $150, cashed out for about $500. So pretty stoked about that. Other than that, I haven't really heard you guys talk about Flamingo, but Flamingo is pretty good. Odds
And then his call got cut off there. I'm not sure why. It was well within the 3 minutes. But tell me if you agree, Mike. It seems like we never set out to go to the Flamingo.
No.
But sometimes we
do end up there.
We'll go in there on our way somewhere else.
Right.
Either, let's go back to the room. No, let's go in here. Would you agree?
Right. Oh, exactly. I don't think once we've ever said, hey, let's go play at Flamingo. But we're usually walking through Flamingo to get somewhere.
Yeah.
And then, there's an empty table there. You want to try that one? And we've had decent luck there.
We've got nothing against it.
No.
It's just there's nothing, I guess, that draws us there necessarily.
Well, I don't know.
So.
Those dancing girls on
that's
on
right.
Saturday
They do have
nights.
those dance. Well, at least they did at that time.
I think they still do. The last time I walked through there on a Saturday night in the evening, there was girls dancing.
Okay, so maybe that would be for the future.
Yeah. Well,
to go
for
over there.
Nick, he's 21.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. We're disgusting. He's 21.
He's 21. He can do that. Me, I can't see far enough. I have to be.
Who is that?
I have to be right at the table to actually see them. Otherwise, it just looks like a blur. That's how people see aliens.
Yeah, exactly.
In a spacecraft and stuff.
Right. No, it's just a go-go girl.
Yeah, just.
Oh. All right, let's hear from our friends Taylor and Tara.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Taylor from New Mexico, and
Tara.
we are at Red Rock, played some video poker and got drunk. We just wanted to say we miss you.
I didn't get a royal flush yet. I'm waiting to hit it with Dr. Mike at the same time.
And I'm trying not
that.
to play without playing with Tara, so we're trying to minimize.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, doesn't matter. Love your show. We miss you. We'll see you in May.
Bye.
All right, good to hear from them as always.
Hey, Taylor and Tara, how about before May? How about in April at
we
Atlantic
haven't come out
City?
to come out and see us in AC.
Yeah, they go to
Gamblepalooza.
Vegas a lot, but AC.
Come on out.
That'd be fun.
I agree. All right, next up is Brian.
Hi, Mark, Dr. Mike. This is Brian from Northeast Ohio, currently on a road trip to I believe it would be Southwest Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. I'm going to Rivers Casino, currently behind a Dodge Journey with California plates, and for some reason the dinosaur sticker on the back made me think of Dr. Mike. So I'm going to play in a poker tournament with my dad. I'll let you guys know how it goes after the trip's over. Happy New Year, and I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. Thanks for the show. Talk to you soon.
I think he just called you a dinosaur.
Yeah, well, hey, I was laughing because you know how often that happens. I mean, that's like a daily occurrence.
Look at that dinosaur.
Look at that dinosaur.
Behind the wheel.
I think my kids would agree with him.
Now, Brian, remember we met Brian and his saintly fiancee, Katie,
saintly.
at Gamblepalooza, because she, right after they got engaged, said, no, let's go back to Foxwoods so that you can meet Mark and
I'll
Dr.
tell
Mike.
you, if you propose to a woman and then, like within 5 minutes she says, let's go to a casino, you just forget the engagement. Just marry her there. You do not want to let that woman get away.
Good advice for Nick and all our other younger listeners. Yeah.
Or older listeners. I mean,
Sure. Yeah, if you're not married.
yeah, if you're not married, you can get married at any age now.
Anyway, we're going to hear back from Brian later, see how he did at the poker tournament. All right, next up, Uncle G.
Hello, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Uncle G calling in from the East Coast.
Yes.
Wanted to congratulate Dr. Mike on the awesome win streak that he's been on. And also, I think it's awfully altruistic of him to so generously tip the dealer. So I think that's good role modeling. It's exciting also for those of us who might be in a little bit of a losing streak to see that, in fact, winning can happen, and it's described so well in your show. I also wanted to give you a little bit of an East Coast casino trip report here. As you guys may know, I'm a Diamond member at Foxwoods. I spend a lot of time there, and I happen to be playing $10 blackjack over in the Fox Tower this weekend. It's not my normal game, but catching up with some friends, and I got a blackjack, and they paid me $12. And I said, oh, excuse me, you short paid me on this. And they said, no, the table's changed. It's now 6-5. I was stunned to actually see it on the table. I would never think to check before sitting down because we've never had 6-5 blackjack in the state of Connecticut while these two massive casinos have been in business for 20 or 25 years. We've never seen 6-5 blackjack. So very disappointing to see that, especially with revenues down at both Mohegan and Foxwoods. Revenues are down at MGM Springfield in their third month as well. And the casino chooses to offer a crap game like 6-5 blackjack. No offense to the great game of craps. So disappointed to see that. We did go and check the video pits where you can play $5 blackjack. That still pays 3-2. And then Johnny Yo and I went over to Mohegan Sun just to check the situation. They also had some 6-5 low limit blackjack games, which they never had before. So real disappointing news there. MGM came in and brought more competition to the area, and the casinos have chosen to make the rules more in their favor. A couple other things going on. I was informed in the Diamond Lounge at Foxwoods that they're going to be cutting back on their food and beverage service, so you'll no longer get like a little can or bottle of Pepsi or Mountain Dew or Coke or whatever. You'll just get Pepsi products from the gun, which I think will probably, is a drawback for some of the older players. So I just want to let you guys know what's going on there on the East Coast. Sorry, I wish I had better news, but at least we have Dr. Mike's winning streak, which we can all take some joy in. Happy New Year, folks. Keep the winning coming. Thanks.
Yeah, same to you, Uncle G. Now, Mike, you and I are not economists.
No.
But I've always heard that the more competition there is, the better it is for the customer.
Typically, that is the case.
And it just seems like it's the opposite here. Now, again, we don't own casinos. We joke about what we do if we own casinos, but this just seems backwards.
Well, there's more to it, I think, than simply competition, because there's a changing work environment. And this is in every industry. Wages are going up, benefits go up, all that stuff goes up. And I think the casino feels the squeeze from that as much as they do the competition of another casino opening. Mm-hmm. And they figure, we need to somehow increase our profits because we're paying more. We got to pay bigger salaries, better benefits, things like that. And I think keeping employees now in an industry is very hard. And if you want to keep good employees, you have to be competitive with better wages, better benefits. And if you're going to do that, that takes money. And
Yeah,
I think
well-
that drives it as much as the competition.
And the economy's pretty good right now, so that's kind of when you see
Right.
these kinds of things. Well, okay.
Right.
Anyway, we're
So it's a multifaceted thing.
Sure, I
But it
understand.
still sucks.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. I
Hey-
mean, they're still going to win at 3-2 blackjack.
we're probably not going back to Foxwoods anytime soon, but I hope this has not affected the policy of providing milkshakes
Yes.
to the players.
Yes.
Because that was fabulous.
I love that. I'll tell you what, I get something from Foxwoods about every other day.
I get emails. I don't think I get anything in the.
No, I get
Do you?
emails
Yeah.
and I get
Mailers
from them. Yeah. And I do. But funny thing is, I get so many emails from Harrah's Southern Indiana.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Which you've
Because I've
to
been there a
twice,
couple
yeah.
times.
Yeah.
But I only go there, maybe once every year or two.
Yeah.
But boy, they send me stuff. And the Coast contacts me all the time. Like, are you coming out? I live in San Diego, remember?
yeah. All right, next call.
Hey guys, Adam from Connecticut. Just wanted to give you a quick report. MGM Springfield went up tonight to play poker. 1-2 no limit is my game in the poker room up there. I got there and I was number 35 on the wait list, so I had quite some time before I was going to get on the table. I went and I hit a $15 craps table, just placing the 6 and the 8. Once one of them hit twice, I would start going up a unit on each of them. Won a quick $60 by the time my name came up for the poker room. Went to the poker room, won a couple $100 within a few hours, and then I went to try Pai Gow for the first time. So I sat down at a $25 Pai Gow table. One of the things that's been, kind of keeping me away from Pai Gow is the $25 hands. But I have to say that I bought in with $250 and it lasted me quite a while. I ended up walking away with $270 after quite a long time at the Pai Gow table. So, it's not a bad game. It's pretty social. Everybody at the table was talking with each other. The dealer was talking. So it's not too bad. I think, when I'm just going up for poker and I don't plan on craps, Pai Gow may be the way to go when I'm just waiting for my name to come up in the poker room. All right. I hope you have a great New Year, and we'll be hearing from you soon.
Good. I'm glad Adam played some Pai Gow poker.
Right.
He mentioned how sometimes the $25 minimum, he was scared of that. But I don't know if we've talked about this too much on the show. A $25 minimum Pai Gow table is comparable, as far as action goes, is comparable to, say, a $10 blackjack table.
Right.
Or maybe even a $5 blackjack
even
table,
$5.
depending on the conditions.
Well, my philosophy is if you can buy in for 10 times the minimum bet. So if it's a $25 table, now this is for Pai Gow.
Pai Gow poker, yes.
If you can buy in for 10 times the table minimum, you're fine.
At Pai Gow, yes.
At Pai Gow.
Yeah.
Yeah, other games it's a little different. I mean, $5, you can't buy in $50 blackjack. You could be out pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
But you can play $250 Pai Gow at a $25 table. You'll be there a while.
And we talked about this at Gamblepalooza. They had a $25 Pai Gow table in the high limit room.
In the high limit room, right.
And I think some of the other podcasts have mentioned it too. Take advantage of that. You're going to get better drinks.
Right.
It's not going to go any faster than a $25 Pai Gow table out on the regular floor. So
right.
yeah.
I was kind of surprised on that though. I expected 50 or 100.
That surprised me too. But
Yeah.
shoot.
But
you
even
don't look for
that, it's Pai Gow. There's a lot of pushing.
So much.
There's a lot of pushing.
Yep.
So.
Slower than blackjack and a lot of pushing. Yep.
So I got my question for you, Mark, is what number would you be on the wait list before you just say forget it and not even put your name on the list?
Oh.
What's your number?
Honestly, 5.
Yeah. When he said 35, I'm thinking if they said to me, "Oh, you're 35," I'd be like, "I don't think so. Don't even bother writing my name down."
Yeah.
I mean, because it's poker too.
Yeah,
People
and-
typically don't, come and go at poker.
And see, that's the thing too. Anytime I go to a casino to play poker, I'm
Right.
going there to play poker. I'm not going there to go play the other games.
Right.
That's a whole different trip for me.
Right.
So I'd be reluctant to go play craps or even Pai Gow poker if I
Right.
wanted to go to play poker. Yeah, I'd probably say, yeah, forget it and go
Unless
home.
they
or-
were like, oh, in 10 minutes, we got a bunch of dealers coming in. We're going to open up 10
Sure,
new
of
tables.
course.
That'd be different. But if the tables are all just staying the same, I'd be thinking 35. I'm going to be here like 6 hours before I get on a table.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of apps now that you can get to that tell you what the waiting list is. And you can even sign up by calling in or even online in some cases. So,
Right.
if you plan ahead, you shouldn't have to wait too long. I don't know what they've got going at
Well, that was
MGM.
1-2 no limit. That
which
might
is
have
like the popular game,
the
too,
most
right?
popular
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
right? That
Yeah.
they're probably a longer list.
Yeah.
You'd probably be playing Limit Omaha.
Yeah, and honestly, I'd be looking for like a 5-10 limit Omaha game. Yeah,
right, and that would be a shorter wait.
Yeah, that would be a shorter wait, and I'd be the youngest one at the table.
You'd
too.
be the
So
youngest one there.
Nice.
You might be the only one awake for most of it.
Yeah, so I mean, it might actually be positive EV, even if I
right.
don't really pay that much attention. Yeah. All right, next up is Ben.
Hey guys, my name's Ben. I'm a craps player and blackjack player as best I can be from North Carolina. Unfortunately, being in central North Carolina, the closest casino is about a 3-hour drive up to Cherokee in the mountains. I was actually curious about what you guys thought I don't know if it's going to make sense what I'm asking, but what you think the most educated group of gamblers are for casino games. I want to bar poker because I feel like there's a lot of strategy to it, and a really, really good player will almost always wipe the floor given enough time and bankroll, of course, to an inexperienced player, even if they have a higher bankroll. It can boil down to luck on that one. But when it comes to table games in the casino, or slots, or video poker, however you guys want to interpret it, who do you think are the most well-versed in their table game, or their game of choice, I should say? What do you think those people are? Thanks. Have a great day, and I love your show.
Thanks, Ben. That's a good question.
Yeah, I guess, as far as I've got two answers really, and tell me what you think about this. First, I'd say blackjack, simply because there have been ways to beat blackjack for a while now, and there still are, and you have to be fairly smart to take advantage of blackjack, whether it's card counting or hole carding or any other opportunity that you might have. The other answer, I might say craps players, only because you have to know quite a bit about the game to really play it well. I say that in quotes because, you can't win at the game, but what do you think?
Well, I agree with you. I mean, it depends on what you're talking about. I mean, because there's plenty of people who play blackjack who have no clue.
Sure.
But if you're talking about somebody who gambles quite a bit and considers that their game, yeah, maybe blackjack.
I'm thinking
if you're
blackjack,
card counting or something. Craps, because you have to know a lot.
Right.
And even though there's no winning strategy, people do come up with a strategy to try and limit losses and stuff like that. Like one guy might like an armed cross and another guy might, like to only take two numbers, 6 and 8, or make come bets. So there's some strategy involved, whereas in blackjack, it's almost automatic.
Yeah,
I mean, if you know blackjack well, like we do, we know basic strategy. I mean, we never have to think 1 second about what we're going to do.
I guess what I would say is take a look at the list of guests that they get for Gambling with an Edge. When they have on advantage players who play table games at casinos,
right?
They're pretty much all blackjack players. Sometimes they mix in some carnival games, but usually they're talking about blackjack.
Usually they're talking about blackjack, right?
Yeah.
That's probably the best answer.
Yeah.
My brother is going. Well, he's at Consumer Electronics Show right now. In Vegas. He's leaving next week for Cherokee.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. So he's going to be there.
Has he been there before?
He's been there
Okay.
before.
All
He
right.
loves it.
Yeah, I think. That's right.
That's
I
why
remember
he's
now.
going back. Him and his friend Cheryl are going back.
That's right. I
because
remember that because he
they
thought that
loved
was the
it.
best. Yeah. Good. All right. You want to see how Brian did in his poker tournament?
All right. Let's see how he did.
Here we go.
Hi, Mark, Dr. Mike. This is Brian from Northeast Ohio coming at you from very dreary Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh. I entered a poker tournament for 45 plus 5, and I didn't do very well in it. I got Trump period against pocket aces, got in a cash game, got dealt pocket aces, and got sucked out on after the flop. So I was feeling pretty down, hit the floor. I got a new card, say a promotion. You get 250 slot points. You get a random free play from 10 to 1,000, I think. So I played enough slots to get that. With the $40 I had left, I managed to hit a bonus round for $400. And I wound up about $100 over what I brought for the day. So not too bad. Oh, and I only got $10 free play, and that wound up being a bust. So yeah, what are you going to do? So before I hit the jackpot, but after I lost almost my entire trip roll in the poker room, I walk out to go to the car with my mom. I was going to go up to their car, charge my phone before I left to go back to Ohio to see Katie for New Year's. I get up to the car, do all that, get back down to the casino floor, and they go to card me again, and I don't have my ID. I had it the first time I got in the casino. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere between my players club, where I remember having it last, the poker room, and the elevators. It was gone. So I'm sitting there with a wristband on, but he won't let me in because I can't provide actual identification. Absolutely understandable in case somebody got a wristband off and got it on underage. So I'm sitting there talking to my parents for almost a half an hour when finally they come up to me and they say, we've got your card, we're bringing it up to you. Security's coming up. So security comes up. Sure enough, he has my identification, takes me back into the bowels of the casino, all the way up to the casino security operations desk, where I had to talk to the head of security about who I was, where I was from, and sign for my license in order to get my license back, where they released me on the casino floor on the opposite end of the casino from where my parents were. So I had to walk across the casino and find them where they were wigging out because they took me from right in front of my parents and back into the depths of the casino for almost a half an hour. So this whole ordeal took well over an hour, just from saying, hey, I don't have my license, to, hey, we have your license and it's coming, to, we need to take you back to the back and sign. So I thought it was ridiculous, and I think that's a buyer beware story for any young-looking listeners of yours. I'm 24, but I get carded pretty regularly. So just keep that in mind. If you get carded a lot, don't leave the casino unless you have it, because they wouldn't let me back on the floor without it. Anyway, I appreciate you guys' show. Talk to you guys later, and I can't wait to meet you again.
Yeah,
now, where did he say this Turkish prison was? He was in?
I don't work in security. I don't think you do either, Mike. No. And I don't know what the laws are in Pittsburgh.
Right.
But it seems to me that if I found Brian's license, I would look at him and say, "Oh yeah, here's your license."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is you. Here you go.
Yeah. I mean,
good thing we found
it doesn't have a picture on it. I don't know.
God, a nightmare.
Because if you're holding his license and you don't actually show it to him, you can look at the picture and then you can say, "What's your birthday?" And then
that's another good check. Yeah,
and then when he gives you the right answer for his birthday and he looks exactly like the guy on the picture. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's him.
I'm trying to think of the terrorist plot that would involve losing your license at a casino.
Well, the casino's in Turkey, and he's a drug mule, okay?
Oh, all right. Pittsburgh Turkey. Maybe that was it. No offense to any of our Turkish listeners.
Right. Well, what was that movie where the guy...
Oh, that was Midnight Express.
Yeah.
Right from the 70s, yeah.
Midnight Express. That's what this story reminds me. You're down in the bowels of the prison.
Well, we have more phone calls, but we're going to hold them off. We're going to play them next week. We are going to do another show next week to get into the rhythm of the, every other Thursday that we kind of skipped here.
Right. That's why we were off tonight. Yeah. This isn't our normal.
That's right. We don't know what's going on.
Our circadian rhythms are way off.
So look for another show next week, and we'll have some of those phone calls. Hey, we want to thank Brian Ibbott for giving us a shout out in a recent interview he did for the podcast newsletter, All the Other Podcasts. Brian Ibbott hosts the excellent Coverville podcast that we've mentioned a couple times on the show, where he plays cover versions of songs, usually with a theme for each episode, like a specific artist or, maybe an album was released, this day in history or something like that. In the interview, Brian calls out 5 Honey by Midnight and our show as podcasts that he makes a point to listen to. So thanks again, Brian. And hopefully we'll meet you in person one day, maybe at the summit, maybe this year.
Hopefully.
I think we've actually been in Vegas at the same time and just, never ran into him. So we'll have to make a point.
Well, we owe him a whale drink at least.
Absolutely, yes.
At least. We should splurge.
All right, really, you think?
Yeah.
Top shelf?
We'll get him
middle shelf?
We'll get him the Patron.
Okay, all right. And we want to thank some people for some donations. First of all, Barry. We've been exchanging emails with Barry, and he made some bets for us at the casino. So thanks very much.
Thank you, Barry.
Also, Ed O'Connor, he sent us a donation he says, finally breaking my 3-year drought in the 33 pool. Yeah, that's right. He won the last week. He split the pool, but it was 3 weeks worth. So
Oh,
it
it's
was
like
still
winning a week,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
like, over $400. So
We've never won.
no, we've never won. So, and he says the big roll's coming mid-February because again, even though somebody won that last week, we all contributed a little bit more. So
right.
that when he goes, I think it's going to be the Borgata in February. He's going to bet again on the hard 6, and
All
maybe
right.
we'll win like we did last year. Yeah, so
That was sweet.
And finally, listener Greg sent us a ticket for the Padres to win the NL pennant.
Yeah, you can frame that.
Go ahead and frame it now.
Frame it right now,
Behind,
Mark.
Unbreakable glass.
Yeah, just put it right up there.
Okay, I'll do that.
Win or lose, you just keep that frame.
That's true. I should do that. So thanks to everyone. Hey, be sure to check out our TV listings showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks. We update those listings every Wednesday using a customized program that searches through all the raw American TV data. Just go to youcanbetonthat.com/TV-listings. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS. Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at youcanbetonThat and on Facebook at facebook.com/youcanbetonThat. Finally, please go to your favorite podcast app and write a review on us. We love getting your feedback. It's been 3 weeks, Mike. What do you have to say?
Well, first off, I want to say I'm a little scared going to the casino this week.
Yeah?
I'm scared.
Why?
Because we're on such a hot streak.
Oh, I know.
And the big joke at Harrah's with some of the regulars is like, we haven't lost in 2019.
Yeah, we keep saying that, yeah.
keep joking about that. So I hate to break this win streak.
Okay.
But,
all right. Well, concentrate.
Yeah, we'll have to really do our best to win. We'll have to play our best craps.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. And the other thing I want to mention, I know you hate to hear this.
Oh, God.
But San Diego.
San Diego what? Are you singing some kind of song about a San Diego team?
Yeah,
the only team
they
you can be
don't
singing
exist.
about is the Padres, and they're not playing
I
right
should've
now.
just
So
said,
I guess
Padres,
I guess it's nothing. So okay.
How many times did Tony Romo say San Diego Chargers on that last game?
I don't know, but I mean it's 3 times.
3 that
Okay.
Lynn and I counted.
All
3
right,
times
yeah.
he said San Diego Chargers. Yeah, everyone still does that. It's so funny. And
Oh
this,
yeah,
this isn't their first year, right?
Yep. It's going to go on
But
for a while.
I am very happy the Chargers are in the playoffs.
Whatever.
and I hope they beat New England. Now
well,
you can't tell me you're not rooting for them.
I mean, it's a game that I'm indifferent to. I certainly cannot root for New England. All right, so
all right.
So
you just have no interest.
Maybe
in
I'll
watching
tune
that
in.
game.
I don't know. Maybe I'll bet the over. That's the way I am these days.
Well, I'm happy they're winning.
All
I will always be a Charger fan. I don't care what they put in front of it. San Diego, LA, it could be Timbuktu.
Yeah. What if they change the name to the Raiders? What if the two teams just switch names?
They just switched names? Well, then I'd root for the Chargers, even though they were the Raiders.
Okay, the Las Vegas Chargers.
The Las Vegas Chargers,
All right,
which is what it should have been.
Yeah, really, that's true. All right, we're getting off track here. Anything else, Dr. Mike?
No, I just wish everyone has a great new year
Yep.
and a wonderful, happy, healthy 2019.
All right, we'll talk to you all next week. Thanks for listening.
Good night.
Mark, that was wonderful. I had no idea you were so talented. The audience is going to love you.